Thank you for tuning in to Wicked Turtle Network exclusive. Follow us on all social media and also click the link tree in the description of this video.
What is up, Wicked Turtle Nation? We just wanted to let you guys know that Wicked Turtle Network has decided to join the Raise Rebellion as brand ambassadors for Raise Energy Drink. Raise Energy gives you fresh, and that stands for focus, recovery, energy, stamina, and hydration. With zero sugar, absolutely no crash, electrolytes, and BCAA aminos. I encourage everyone listening or watching right now to raise up and join the Raise Rebellion yourself by going to your local GNC, vitamin shop, or even online at repsports.com. And order yourself some Raise energy drinks or other athletic supplements in bulk. And when checking out, use the order code WICKEDTURTLE for a 15% discount. The website and order code will be in the description of this cast. Hey divers, what's up? Welcome back to the Duke's Dive. As you can tell, I like to change up the background here, and while Paul may not be with us on screen, he's with us. He's in the background. He's doing his Mr. Wizard of Oz thing, and actually, let's see from Paul right here.
What up, peeps? I'm doing my producer thing. Welcome to the Duke's Dive.
What's up, peeps? Hey divers. Peeps and divers coming together, brother, the mega powers.
When the
Duke
madness met the
Penguin.
mania.
Anyways, I told you guys last week that I would open the show with a discussion point here, and that discussion point was 5 women that I think would benefit the AEW women's division incredibly. And some bullet points I've included in this decision is these people have to be free agents. They don't have to necessarily actually be free agents, but if they're not a free agent, that person would need to leave wherever they're at, you know, even if it's indies, to dedicate their being 100% to AEW, you know, being in that locker room. And it doesn't need to be somebody who's currently active in ring. It could be someone who's not currently active in ring. It could be the stipulation I have here is you have to specify whether that person would be working in ring or behind the scenes role. So, like I said, either a free agent or leaving their position from wherever they're at to be 100% dedicated to AEW. Could be an in-ring or behind-the-scenes thing. You have to elaborate, and that's the only bullet points I had for that point of discussion. And with that going on, with that being said, let's move into my 5 women that I feel would benefit the AEW division greatly. Number 1 would be the Wounded Owl Lufisto. With the way she spoke up on past women matches from CZW being distributed, the way they were being distributed, you know, it sets a precedence. You know, I feel like not only would she be good in the ring, she's got many years left in the tank, I would assume, to go in the ring. She would also benefit the other women knowing what she does and having gone through what she had. I just feel like, you know, that knowledge would be greatly beneficial to the locker room. amazing from a in-ring standpoint, and like I said, would benefit the AEW greatly behind the scenes too. Number 4 would be Killer Kelly Klein, and much of respect of the Wounded Al Lufisto. She spoke up about concussions in Ring of Honor, and I just feel like that in another way would be beneficial. You know, just the way things are ran in the locker room, and these women, have been vocally, what you want to say, they have been vocal champions, and very brave in what they have done and said to better women's wrestling heading forward, to shape and evolve women's wrestling from what it was to what it will be. So that's another one, and she's amazing in the ring. And as far as I know, she's not working anywhere she's not full-time working in any other promotion right now, as far as I know. That could change anytime. Wrestling is such a crazy thing right now. Yeah, great in-ring, great behind the scenes, just like Wounded Al Lufisto. Both would be beneficial in both of those areas of being in the ring and behind the scenes. And I just feel like that would be another person I'd love to see matches with. Killer Kelly Klein versus legit Layla Hirsch, Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose. Amazing stuff. Wounded Al versus Nyla Rose would be awesome. Number 4, Kelly Keller Klein. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I already read that one. Number 3, Adina Steele. She's a great up-and-comer. She's very young into the business, hasn't had too many years. She could benefit greatly going up against the current roster of AEW. I feel like someone of her stature, of striking style, and the way her technical style would mesh very well with these other women in the roster, and going up against people of that kind of caliber would also benefit her career greatly. I would love to start seeing her on at least Dark Elevation, and I would still like to see her on the independent scene. I would still like to see her catch that true championship, but right now I just feel like she could really do some stuff on AEW Dark Elevation. Number 2, and now these aren't in any particular order. I'm just going down 5 women I put down here. Another younger woman, very small in stature, Tootie Lynn Ramsey, the little blue dragon. She has huge crowd appeal. Imagine like a female or a woman version of Fuego del Sol, the way they would build him up as not just a small person, but a very viable threat in the ring to, to the women's division, just like he is in the men's division. Put her up against some of these larger women, Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, Big Swole, have up these matches between her. I feel like that'd be awesome. She's I think a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Could be wrong on that. She is well trained in martial arts, let's just say that. So from that standpoint, she would benefit also from wrestling the other women in the division too. Against any of them women. And number 1, again, kind of a smaller stature girl, Ziggy Haim. She's great on the indies, has a great following, been around the indie scene for years. If you catch up on IWTV, you've seen her at several different promotions. Great fan following for her too. And I just think that she would also benefit from wrestling these women in the division and learning and sharing the knowledge of these women and being under the same learning tree, just as well as Tootie and Adina, with these younger women that haven't been in the business as long as a Lufisto or maybe even a Killer Kelly Klein. Maybe, I'm not sure exactly how long she's been in there now. But yeah, that's my 5 women that I feel like could benefit the AEW women's division. Like I said, Wounded Al Lufisto, Killer Kelly Klein, Adina Steele, Tweety Lynn Ramsey, and Ziggy Hain. And that's it for the discussion topic there. Now, to give you a little bit of a description of how I'm going to structure my reviews going forward, pre-shows and dark elevation matches, matches that were meant to be dark, I'm not going to rate them. I'm just going to give a rapid fire results category for them. And weekly television shows, I'm not set on structure on which ones I'm going to watch. I'm thinking about adding one or maybe even 2 more. Kind of hinting around at Ring of Honor because as you'll see here in the next review segment coming up, I did review Death Before Dishonor, but I digress. I wanted to just give those the weekly shows. I would give those matches an up or a down, and that's it. And as far as pay-per-views, each match will be given an up, down, neutral, and then each match will then be given a rating system of, your school rating, A, B, C, D, E, or F. On that kind of a scale, each pay-per-view will be then graded. That's what I'm going to do. Rapid fire results on pre-shows and dark matches. Excuse me. Weekly shows will be given ups, neutrals, or downs on each individual match. Pay-per-views, each match will be rated, and each show will then also be rated. Thank you. And in the main event of Dark Elevation was Nyla Rose defeating Sky Blue. But yeah, anyway, hopefully we see Top Flight as Top Flight here sooner rather than later here. Maybe up against them Seidel brothers here as a cohesive Top Flight. Next up we had here Jade Cargill defeats Legit Layla Hirsch. I was neutral on this one. Obviously you want to keep Jade Cargill strong and undefeated, but Legit Layla Hirsch losing to that, it was a good match, and I'd like to see that one happening in the future. So this one gets a neutral for me. The next one up here was Darby Allin defeats Shawn Spears. This was an up for me. Then we seen Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston defeat 2.0 to end the show, main event Dynamite, and that was also an up for me. Now before we move on to AEW Dark Elevation on Tuesday, before we move on to AEW Dynamite on Wednesday here, I wanted to cover the new and improved, maybe, NXT 2.0. I know there was a lot of hesitation with the internet wrestling community about going into this one and the changes they've made, but honestly, I like the setup. I like the way people are set up in there. The no barricades, glass, separation. Certainly a lot better than screens. We knew eventually they were going to move away from the Performance Center anyways. I love the big Titantron. Not as big as the one on SmackDown yet, but still nice. And then then we had big screens in the crowd too. I really like the way they're doing this, and let's see here. So far with this one, I'm optimistic about the path of NXT. NXT is something I hold near and dear to the heart, of course. Started watching NXT to get me back in. It took starting watching NXT to get me back into watching wrestling back, when of course, this actually being the 3.0. This is the second revamp, but after the third revamp, the second revamp after the first revamp is when I started watching wrestling heavily, especially NXT. But the card here, we got 6 matches. Braun Breaker, they're not allowed to say it. I will. Son of Rick Steiner defeats LA Knight. That was an up. Imperium defeats Brooke Jensen and Josh Briggs. Big Josh Briggs guy, so that's a down for me. I'm not sold on Imperium. Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, and Mandy Rose. The debate debuting back to NXT, Mandy Rose defeats Saray, Casey Catanzaro, and Caden Carter. That was an up for me. Then Ridge Holland defeats Drake Maverick. I really like Drake, so that's a down for me. The Creed brothers defeat Dan Jarman and Trevor Skelly. This was a neutral for me. I don't know these guys yet. Maybe by next week I will. Now, the main event was Tommaso Ciampa defeats Pete Dunne, LA Knight, and Von Wagner, the debuting Von Wagner, new guy here. Samoa Joe had to relinquish, for the time being, the NXT title due to injury, so this was put up between Tommaso Ciampa, Pete Dunne, LA Knight, and Von Wagner, of course. And then Kyle O'Reilly was taken out of the equation very last minute and posed Von Wagner. Tommaso Ciampa once again with Goldie, rounding up a new era of NXT as champion. So, who knew? I'm optimistic for the future going forward for NXT, and I'm going to continue covering it until they piss me off and I stop covering it. Next up here we have Impact from Thursday, the 16th. 5 matches here, and here we go. The first one up, Decay defeats Violent by Design. That was an up for me. Afterwards, Violent by Design beat up on Rhino. Not sure. Looks like he's not going to be a part of Violent by Design anymore, obviously. That part was a down for me. I like Rhino and Violent by Design. Next match was Petey Williams defeats TJP. That's an up for me. Really like Petey Williams in the ring, so of course that's an up for me. Next one was John Skyler defeats Laredo Kid. This was a neutral for me. Not really big on Skyler. I don't know Skyler too much, so I'm gonna have to learn more about him. But he looked pretty good in there, so it was at least a neutral for me. The next one up here was a good match. My match of the card. Drama King Matt Rehwoldt defeats Trigger Trey Miguel. And the main event was Josh Alexander, Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, Sami Callihan defeat Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, W. Morrissey, Moose, and Brian Myers. Anyway, that leads us to Rampage. 2 more matches on the show here. Rampage was a 3-match thing, of course. This next upcoming week is going to be 2 hours of Rampage, but this one was just a real quick 3-match thing. Lucha Brothers defeat Butcher and the Blade. That was an up. Match of the card. Anna Jay defeats the Bunny. Miro defeats Fuego del Sol, retains that championship, and then afterwards they tease him versus the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. To end the show here, we're going to talk about Victory Road. This was a good one. 10 matches here. Show opens up with Steve Macklin defeating TJP and Petey Williams. Like I said, I like Petey Williams, so this is a neutral for me. I'm not too high on Steve Macklin yet, so neutral. Next one up here was Laredo Kid defeats Black Taurus and Trey Miguel. That was an up. Trey Miguel, Jake Something, and John Skyler in a 5-way. That was an up. The next one was Tennille Dashwood with Caleb and Madison Ray defeat Taylor Wilde and Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. That was a down for me. No, it was Taylor Wilde defeated Taylor Wilde and Jordan Grace. Taylor Wilde and Tennille Dashwood with Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering with all those extras. The next match here, Taylor Wilde with Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering defeated Tennille Dashwood with Caleb and Madison Rain. Then Matt Cardona defeated Rohit Raju. That was an up. Chris Bay and Hika Liu defeat Finn Juice. That was an up. Moose and W. Morrissey defeat Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan. This one was an up. Rosemary and Havoc defeat Tasha Steele and Savannah Evans. This was also an up. The Good Brothers defeat Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Up. Josh Alexander defeats Chris Sabin. Double up. Match of the card. Good match. And then our buddy Ace Austin does lose to Christian Cage as he defends and retains his Impact World Heavyweight Championship. That was an up. The show was an A on my book. So yeah, that concludes the Duke's Dive for the week. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for checking me out. I'll see you next week with some wrestling results, and my discussion topic next week will be 5 different ways the forbidden door has yet to be opened. Catch you next week on The Dive.
Thank you for tuning in to Wicked Turtle Network exclusive. Follow us on all social media, and also click the link tree in the description of this video.
What is up, Wicked Turtle Nation? We just wanted to let you guys know that Wicked Turtle Network has decided to join the Raise Rebellion as brand ambassadors for Raise Energy Drink. Raise Energy gives you fresh, and that stands for focus, recovery, energy, stamina, and hydration. With zero sugar, absolutely no crash, electrolytes, and BCAA aminos. I encourage everyone listening or watching right now to raise up and join the Raise Rebellion yourself by going to your local GNC, vitamin shop, or even online at repsports.com. And order yourself some Raise Energy drinks or other athletic supplements in bulk. And when checking out, use the order code WICKEDTURTLE for a 15% discount. The website and order code will be in the description of this cast.